Welcome to Wisdom in Action. I'm Bill Ross. We received a lot of calls after today's guest appeared on our show to tell people how he can help them relieve their financial burdens. We've invited back Jeff O'Neill, owner of World Outlook Management, to talk about how the recently passed stimulus package will affect consumers. Jeff, good to see you again.
Thank you.
What does the stimulus package mean to the average American?
To the average American, it shows that we as consumers have agreed to bail out corporate America, Wall Street, and just any other long-term spending goals.
What about people who need help now?
There are, as of yet, been any provisions made for that segment, and that's what tends to alarm me myself as well as a lot of other advocates for the people.
What can you do to help those people?
We at World Outlook, we're designed to help the everyday American. We can educate the average American on how to reduce their debts for a fraction of its original cost.
How do you do that?
We first began by assuming that consumers' debt from them is no longer their debt. We assume this debt, and we in turn utilize the bailout money that was allocated and appropriated for banks and lending institutions on behalf of the consumer.
Take us through how it works.
You would come into my company, you would have $50,000 in credit card debt. You were current as long as you could be. Now you see that there's no sign of you being able to keep that up. So what we will do is we will allow you to assign your debt to our management company. Our management company will make a series of payments to your creditor on your behalf under novation law. Novation law simply is the creation of another contract that's going to supersede its original. So by having all parties in agreement, the banks are mandated to endorse the checks. You now retire your $50,000 for a fraction of its cost.
What does this mean for people who are receiving harassing calls from debt collectors?
Immediately upon enrolling in our company, a letter of financial representation is immediately forwarded to that creditor. Once that creditor receives that, he is then prohibited from contacting you, the original consumer, ever again.
What about people who are already facing foreclosure? They've already faced it, and they have deficiencies on the credit report. Where do they stand?
Fortunately, we have a program designed for that. Once a property has been foreclosed, the bank or the foreclosee, for lack of a better word, either sells that property or auctions it. As you know, most homeowners are now in a declining market. So what happens is when that property is auctioned, there is a balance between what is owed versus the contract, and that is now passed on to the consumer. Now we can assume that unsecured debt because they've retrieved the property.
And what about people facing other unsecured debt?
This covers all phases of unsecured debt restructuring, as it is known: debt reconciliation procedure, credit card debts, business lines of credit, deficiencies from auto repossessions, deficiency from mortgages, of what we just spoke about.
There are going to be some people who say they want to see how the stimulus package works out before they take any action. Why would that be a mistake?
It would be a mistake simply because the law of economics. We have a rising inflation, we have unemployment rising, and we have the dollar shrinking. Waiting is not going to help. It's just only going to make those same bills even higher.
So act now.
I would suggest it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
The stimulus package and the original bailout are geared toward helping corporate America. You need someone who's looking out for your interests. Call Jeff O'Neill at World Outlook Management for a better outlook on the world. And do it today, because in this case, time really is money.